This is UndercoverHD.com, and welcome to Sia
Hello.
in Austin, Texas.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, you've been based in London for many, many years, and congratulations, very successful too.
Thank you.
Yeah. How'd you find it when you first moved out of Australia and into the UK? That must have been a big gamble for you as a performer, but it's obviously paid off.
Yeah, I didn't really go there to make it as a performer. I just went there on a holiday and got sort of stuck there. Just sort of, yeah, it's kind of like quicksand. Like, I think if I'd just chosen the other direction, probably LA or New York would have been like quicksand.
Yeah.
I would have got stuck in either of those places. But yeah, London, it was, it was really, I was just kind of drunk for the first 3 months. I was just there on holiday and, you know, all this horror, like, and my friend, and it was kind of like a friend of mine just died like a week before we got there, and he was who I was going there to meet and live with and travel with. So everyone there was like drunk, basically, like in this grieving process. And yeah, and I didn't sing for ages until like a friend of my cousins kind of rang up. I've got English cousins, and rang up and said, "There's a jam on down the road, you should come and sing. You're a singer, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." So I went down, and then there was someone running backwards and forwards in front of the stage while I was singing, going, "You're with me, you're with me." And he ended up managing me for like 4 years, signed me to a record deal, publishing deal, and then, you know, I got a bit successful and sacked him.
A bit? Here's this girl from Adelaide singing with Jamiroquai, singing with Area 7, singing with Massive Attack. A bit successful?
Well, the truth is that I did some BVs for Jamiroquai, which he never used. 07 were like were and are my saviour. Like, you know, that's how I pay my rent, because without a doubt I get a publishing cheque every year that can cover my mortgages. Mm-hmm. And Massive Attack never happened. We were going to do something, but we realised that I was already singing with a down-tempo electronic act, and that was 07, and I didn't want it to... It would be silly to make me that girl that sings on all of those electronic albums, you know. And I nearly did that. I nearly did William Orbit too, but I didn't do any of that. So I was mainly just doing my own stuff and 07 and, you know, like, I guess it's to, you know, you adjust your levels or your parameters of success, but by my standards, I haven't hit the big time yet. Like, I've been waiting. So. Yeah. And, you know, you get a bit successful, then you fail for a year, then you get a bit successful, then you fail for a year. And again, this time with this 6 Feet Under thing that happened here, like when they played my song in the last episode, and you know, for a year I've done nothing. I was dropped last year, and when that happened, it totally rescued me again. Yeah. And Asperworks picked up that album, which had pretty much died in the UK, and now it's like, it's bliss. It's reworking it again, and you know, I'm chuffed. A new 07 album coming out in May, and I'll be on tour all year with my stuff and their stuff, and we're trying to record another album, and you know, I guess you're right. I guess I am successful. I can make money out of music, and nearly nobody gets to do that. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, I had to leave. It wasn't, I guess, I would never have been able to do it in Australia. Yeah. There's not enough, like, subculture, like, I think, to support, like, unpopular music, or, I don't know, maybe there is, but I think everyone leaves to make it big unless they're kind of mainstream. Isn't it? I mean, now I'm mainstream. Yeah. Maybe I just needed to go leave the country to decide to be mainstream.
You know, looking at what you've done, though, you've also had an incredible education in the music industry, haven't you? Like being an artist, you know, having to leave a label, or, you know, by force. I mean, how'd you handle that? Was that like a shock when you know, you said it? Yeah.
No, not really, because I hadn't sold any records, really. I think I'd sold about 13,000 records, and I knew they'd spent about £250,000 on me, so I was waiting for it, and they didn't do it for like 6 months that I thought they were definitely going to do it, and then they'd said they weren't going to, and so I was like, wow, that's intense, and then they just did it. Then the lawyers and the accountants made that decision, and to be honest, it was kind of, at the time, I was like, okay, that's fine. And maybe I went in a shock or something. But then, it was a difficult year, because I was kind of thinking, okay, will anyone ever want to sign me again? And, you know, will 07 still use me on the next album? What will I do? Will I be a dog breeder? will I be a dog rescuer?
Yeah.
Will I be a dog lady?
But going and doing that second 07 album must have been exciting too.
No, it wasn't at all. It was dreary. It was dreary as
Yeah?
Yeah, it was, we were all totally depressed. None of us were having a good time. The first one was fantastic. The second one, we were all in a really funny place, and it was difficult to make. It was really difficult. Like, I think I must have gone back in there, like, to redo something like 50 times, and I'm not that kind of person. I like to do one take, and then that's the end, and that's the magic. But the boys, I think, were feeling a bit insecure because they'd had such huge success with the first one, and I think they were like, oh, what are we going to do for the second one? So I think they overworked it. I don't know, you know how you can overwork clay and it loses its like elasticity, you can't work with it anymore?
Yeah.
For me, that's what that album was like. I think it was kind of anaesthetised in a way, like, I don't know. But yeah, I wasn't really that into that album, but I am into the next one.
Yeah.
We had the next 07.
It's already in
that
planning
is,
stage.
yeah, it's finished. We recorded it already, and
It's 2 albums in one go then.
well, no, because I haven't recorded my next solo album. I've recorded. Oh no, they've already released a second 07 album. Yeah, that's the one I'm not really into. So this would be the third 07 one. I recorded my one, this one that I'm now working here in America 2.5 years ago in England. So that was recorded like 3 years ago. So no, the only thing I did last year was record this 07 album and feel a bit worried about my solo career. But then when this 6 Feet Under thing happened, like suddenly I'm hot again. So I've got 5 labels in a bidding war, trying to sign me, and I couldn't really be in a better position.
And who are you going with?
I don't know.
How about a South by Southwest exclusive here? Sia is about to sign with.
No one. None of them yet. I can take my time because I've got this 07 album coming out. I have great faith in it. I think it's good. I think the first 2 singles are mine, and I don't think I should be in a hurry to sign any deals.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a strong position for the first time in a good couple of years, and I should just make sure I make the right decision.
Yeah.
This time, make sure I sign to someone or to a label that maybe feels like they can take the risks and to not drop me for selling just a few records, and maybe think that I can recoup on my next album if I up the first.
Where are you at with the new solo album then?
I finished writing it. I want to write another couple of hits for it, and then I'm going to record it in maybe September. I don't know. I want to record it at Ocean Way in LA, and I don't know what the availability of the studio is there, so I've got to work that out, and then work out the availability of my band, who I've just found, who I love, and then record that, and that should be out next spring, this kind of American UK spring.
Yeah.
I don't really know when that is. They told me spring. I don't even know whether that's May or September. I have no idea. I get confused with seasons.
It's always spring somewhere.
I was a city girl.
Yeah. Are we hearing that announcement there on the microphone? We have 10 more minutes of free beer. 10 more minutes of free beer at the Sia interview here in Austin, Texas.
So classic. Is that really happening? So really nothing is free after 10 minutes?
It's like an Aussie dream, isn't it? No, I think somebody's shouting the room.
I don't drink beer anymore because it makes me a bit of a fatty.
What are the plans for touring for 2006? Obviously 07 is going to take up a lot of your time, but what about coming home?
I can't do Australia because I don't have a fan base there, and I have a big band, and we can't afford it. I just can't afford it.
Do you find that amazing, though, for an Australian performer who doesn't have a fan base in Australia but has a huge fan base in the UK?
Yeah, not really. Yeah. I don't know. I don't mind it. In fact, I prefer it, and I don't want to become famous there because I like to go back there in the summer and pee by the side of the road.
Yeah.
And I don't want anyone to recognise me doing that. I want to be able to come out of the Mars bar at 6 a.m. with a transsexual and know that nobody's going to give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, if you did that in London, you might wind up on the front page of The Sun.
Yep. Yeah, no, nobody cares about me there either. I think you can nurture that kind of relationship with the press, or you can hide from it, and that's what I've done for the most of my career. So I don't think I'm at risk of ever appearing in any of those tabloids. Pretty much, as I said last night, I slept for 15 hours. I'm a total cardigan wearing bore.
But she is doing a lot for cardigan fashions here in the United States. Buy the Sia album and the Sia cardigan.
Imagine, I want to get merchandise, but I don't think we could afford cardigans, and I'm not sure how they'd sell. I'm not a total idiot.
Great at the gig. Sia, thank you for joining us here at UndercoverHD.com.
Thanks.